Wow. I feel sorry for anyone that goes through COVID. Not that I confirmed I had it, but I'll tell you what, that variant that I experienced was nothing like I've ever experienced this last couple years since 2020. I'm serious. It was pretty intense. So definitely I got the respiratory part of, if you look up all the different symptoms of COVID, I would say if I was a lesser person, which means that if I hadn't done jelly juice or been on jelly juice, I probably would have felt every single one of those symptoms tenfold. I think I felt every single one of those symptoms on a very minor scale, like a touch of them. And it's interesting. A couple of days ago, before I actually felt these symptoms, I remember dreaming about somebody whispering something to me, and it wasn't my husband or anything, but I was dreaming about somebody whispering something to me, and I couldn't make out what it was saying. And I was something that I really wanted to record because it sounded so good, but I really couldn't make out the words enough for me to record it on Facebook. But I remember prior to the last couple of days, prior to me feeling the way I had been feeling, every single time I went back to sleep, and this is probably like on maybe Sunday night, um, I something was telling me something. And I think it was telling me that I'm going to be feeling some pretty intense stuff and that it's going to be fine. But yeah, last night it was the most intense headache last night. Um, I even slept half the day, didn't even make dinner, didn't even do anything except go to sleep and just like lay in the bed. So it's interesting feeling these symptoms of whatever it was. Could have been COVID. But I'll tell you what, it will make you stronger. It will make you stronger it will make you stronger. And so I just want to let you guys know that this is what it's like to when you're healed and sealed, when you finally get through all of your predispositions. And it's going to take a couple of years for some of you because you're still dealing with not only the current environment, but then all the other stuff that you had to deal with years before. But if ever a new virus like a panspermia, new life, comes onto this planet, you're going to have to adapt to it. Okay? You can have a man-made, well, here's the thing, panspermia, that was coined something in the 1950s, but it was something that was done prior to what we even can really relate to. And so the way humans relate to antiquity as if it was something like so far removed and like so different. And yeah, there may have been giants on this earth, but those giants were no different than just us at a larger scale. Okay? And so I think way back in the beginning, the panspermia and all the new life forms and the bioengineering was not that different than you see today. Okay? I mean, if you could morph your body to take on different personas in acting, like you see these actors and actresses do, they go from really big, playing a part of a really big person to a really, older person to a younger person to someone that has, some evil, malevolent, energy to them, like the Joker. I mean, if they can morph into parts on screen, okay, and not saying that not to say that all the makeup is what they grew or something, but they can morph their personas on screen, then imagine then what biotech can do with people today. The genetic engineering, the bioengineering is no different today than it was way back when. Okay, it's no different. The what would be somewhat different, I guess, would be the fact of the technology that we are exposed to. They didn't have RVs and scooters way back in antiquity. They may have had it hundreds and thousands or more than that, millions of years ago, if we are really recycling generations. But that would mean we'd have to uncover all of that strata of those times. But I don't think we were found like scooters and RVs way back in antiquity or even before that. So I just want to let you know that I probably had some kind of COVID and it was pretty intense. The coughing, a little bit in the background. The headache, yeah, that headache was insane. It wasn't the pulsing headache. It was like the really just, you could feel it on each temple. and you just have to ride it out and just either watch Netflix or watch TV and just lay in bed and rest and sleep. Rest and sleep. That's all I could say. Why people do not survive COVID or why people actually die, at some point in the future is because of all the antibiotics stopping that energy. Because that's what sickness is. It's energy. Sickness is energy of the body evolving. And if you hardly have anything to you, you can ride on a little bit on the biochemistry, but once that is depleted and then your vital organs are not supported correctly, then yeah, that's the end of your life. Okay? And so I'm telling you, the evolution is basically energy. And can your body handle the energy? And so I tell you what, I was so thankful finally at around 11 or 12 last night, the headache disappeared. But I was dealing with that headache from probably 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock on. And then I'm telling my husband, okay, Jason, I'm going to bed, make your dinner, do your coffee for the morning. Actually, I made him coffee this morning. But I'm going to bed and I'll be left alone for the next until tomorrow. And he was just like, yeah, he had his own issues to deal with too. So anyways, so I want to let you guys know that yeah, what doesn't kill you will make you stronger. Okay, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And what the vaccines do is they lessen the severity, but you're not going to escape it. However, relative to where you are on the spectrum of life and death, even a vaccine isn't 100%, obviously. And so, gambling with the environment is a crapshoot. Gambling with therapeutics are a crapshoot. Maybe if you're in that very small window of people who are strong enough to take on a transition point into the new environment, great. But if you're not supporting your body correctly, at some point predispositions are going to kick in, not because of the vaccine, because you haven't held your body to the standard of which it needs to be held to, which is the environment. And when you have so many different viruses just swirling around the atmosphere, I don't care where they come from, that's piezoelectricity. Those are transducers. Okay, those are transducers. And they do enact a lot of electricity and forces your body to go through electrical charges, of which some of you will or will not be able to handle. So anyways, I'm going to keep writing. I'm almost done. At some point, I'm going to get to the point of the jelly juice, where I'm going to go through every aspect of jelly juice, as far as just the process, the objective, what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, what happens towards a certain point, and then you figure out your schedule, and then then I'll be almost done. But I will be covering a portion in this book on eugenics. And eugenics is really creating a utopian society of a perfect people, a perfect race of people. Okay, now I'm not saying a race like, white or black or red or something like that. I'm talking about like a perfect, diversified population that will have a choice whether or not they want to live indefinitely, immortality, which is nothing more than just maintaining your existence, or be very specialized in one area. And you see them in actors and actresses. The actors and actresses in Hollywood, they are the Hollywood sacrifices. They are the sacrifices of our society, because they do get a lot of money to play a specific part to guide the population in a specific direction, and which means that they take on specific characteristics that will really just put a lot of pressure on the body. And unless they take a hiatus and take a couple of years off to regenerate and then go back, it's very hard. Let me tell you this. It is very difficult to go from being 100% healthy to then going, okay, I'm going to go back to where I was before, where you're doing a bunch of drugs and alcohol and all this stuff, and you're not regenerating. And I would say that is very difficult to go back to an old way of being when you finally healed and sealed, when you finally dealt with all of your issues. So I would say that if you are a Hollywood star, you know what, do the J juice after you have gone through your career. It's going to be painful, and then reinvent yourself. And then maybe support Jelly Juice. Maybe once you're done with your career, support Jelly Juice and say, okay, here I am. I'm Brad Pitt, or I'm Jennifer Aniston, and I'm doing the Jelly Juice. And now I'm back to what I was back in the Friends days, and here we are in 2050, and I look like someone that came out of Friends. Okay? And that could be a reinvention of the new Hollywood stars, of the old Hollywood stars that finally are okay. Julie Juice could now finally be accepted at some point, I guess. That's my wishful thinking. But that'll be way in the future. All right, so I'm going to do my thing. You guys have a good day. Thanks for listening. Bye.